right, today we are doing some wrenching, and I'm gonna flush the fluid on my SLS air suspension on the diesel wagon. And Manny's trying to get his car to start, and a bunch of stuff's locked in his trunk, hilariously enough. So that's our fun for the afternoon. Is to fix this stuff, flush some fluid, fix Phil's starter and alternator, and fix Mene's starter. Okay, so if you're wondering if you have an SLS hydraulic suspension system on your W123, look to see if you have this fancy guy right here, or if you start it up and it goes whoop-de-doo, raises from the rear. Mene's stays high booty all the time. Phil stays high booty all the time because just regular shocks.
That's a low booty.
Well, low booty, but this goes extra low when the engine's off. So you need to service. Nobody ever services the oil out of these, and it gets old, and the hydraulic fluid breaks down, and there's a filter system in here, and it's really easy to do it, and it'll save your hydraulic system. And you also can inspect the lines that are in your hydraulic system, make sure that you have a high pressure line and a low pressure line, and you just want to verify that they're not leaking, because if the minute this loses fluid, you'll burn up your engine driven hydraulic pump, and then you'll fry your SLS system, and it is very costly to fix. These are usually headache free systems, but you got to do some maintenance on them. So it's really simple. You're gonna disconnect this is your fluid housing, which contains all the hydraulic fluid. You're gonna disconnect your actual return line. This is what gets returned from the rear suspension, and there's a filtration system in here. And the kit that you're going to order, another big faulty mistake people make is they order the wrong fluid. I've seen W123s with motor oil and the hydraulic fluid. I've seen beyond stupid stuff. So be super choosy about what you get. Mercedes Source has really good SLS replenishing rejuvenation kit. And wow, what are you looking up there? Nice, she's cute. Oh my gosh, that's not a W1, that's an M10.
That's the M10?
That's the M10.
That's, somebody did that in a spray.
See? And it, yeah. Non-W123 related, but make sure you get this hydraulic fluid right here. I got also the green Pentacin. I think it's Pentacin. It's in a green metal can. Use good stuff. It'll save your hydraulic system.
Are you sponsored by Mercedes Source now?
I wish I was, because this stuff, actually this isn't that expensive, but
I was gonna say.
most Mercedes stuff is.
Okay.
You know it.
Yeah, I do know it.
Diesel.
I do know it.
So what's the problem with yours? What are you trying to figure out?
Quite a few things, yeah. Quite a few things. But yeah, I got the under the dash all open. So
I will
check the ignition on that.
I will look at that. One sec. So to drain this, you're gonna buy this rebuild. Yeah, you could get a straw. You could suck it out. Hey, that worked too. Make sure you get your filter. Brand new filter for this, because you're going to want to replace that. Who knows how old your original filter is. And you're going to get a hose kit like this. And my trick that I've learned to replenishing the system is I will hook this hose to the return line, and I will have this connected here, have this in a well drained, away from paint, because the hydraulic fluid will eat paint, and have this drain into a bucket. And you're going to watch that till it fully drains, and then you're going to add a new hydraulic fluid into your housing. So really simple. You're essentially replenishing it. Takes about 3 liters to fully flush it, and you want to make sure that your fluid's completely clear. Okay, simple as that. An easy way, instead of running the hydraulic system all the way through to drain the crap that's in there, what I usually recommend is this right here. And you can see I'm kind of sucking out what's in the actual system and adding it to a bucket so the impurities don't recirculate. And you can usually see if there's a lot of dirt in the bottom of the, which that actually looks fairly clean. I notice that there's a seal at the bottom I want to get rid of, but overall pretty good. See if I can get a better, so not too bad. If you have a lot of crap and crud, then I would recommend disconnecting the tank and washing it out manually, but using this method, draining it and then filling it with fresh and then running, you're gonna want to run at least 1 quart through and fill the bucket. You're gonna start it up. Okay, I got a hose hooked up. She is draining out right now. It's coming out clear, which is a good sign. You're gonna watch your level right there. And this is the return line from the main suspension. So you wanna watch that level. So that's draining right here. And that looks pretty darn good. It's clear, which is a good sign. It means that the system's been flushed. And that right there is how you flush your SLS suspension fluid. And last, after we button everything back up, is we have a new filter, which we'll do that next. I swear. Anyways, if you're wanting to, this is the old filter housing. I'm gonna show you the new filter housing. Let's see if I can put the camera down correctly here. So, the trick with taking this off, you're gonna see it look like this.
You get in the trunk?
And what you're gonna do is you're gonna fold this up like that. So if you see that, you gotta compress this spring. You know, you have a hook just like that. So that's what holds the filter housing on. Like that, looks just like that. So this spring right here, you're gonna want to compress. So I take it in my palm, and I compress it like that, and this is loose, and there's a little hook like that. That's how you get the filter off on this. So take the old filter off, slides right off, just like that. Here's a new one. Make sure it's OEM Mercedes, no cheapies. And so when you want to get this back on, once again, see it just like that, and you're gonna squeeze that right there, get this on right there where it feeds right through there. Make sure it's lined up, doesn't damage the filter. Then you're gonna take that housing, and then it's back on just like that. Simple as that. New filter set up, everything. New filter on. This is tight. You want to make sure that is in the same direction as your line right here. You don't want it off. And then you're gonna bring this back up. This is your collar for the actual line. Just make sure that there's no debris. I usually like to make sure that it's clean, free of any stuff that could potentially get in between the seal and not make it seal. The last thing you want is leaks. So that looks pretty darn good. So we're gonna bring that collar back on like that. Once again, make sure that this feeds correctly, because if it doesn't, it won't seal up right. This guy tightened up. That's all ready to go. We're gonna do a start test, make sure we don't see any leaks that are abnormal. It's flowing. No leaks. That's how you flush your SLS system. Don't pay a lot of money for that.
Oh yeah, dude. That's period appropriate.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Morning. 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 Hey, I found a way to get into the trunk. You think you can fit in there, Nate?
I probably could.
Let's get you in here, bud.
Because I need you to do the, I need you to pull the kidnapping strap.
Can you reach in there?
I'm trying to, but I'm getting tangled in my gangle here.
It's tangled in my gangle.
Strap